Hey guys, I'm the Great Jedi and welcome back to the channel. Now, this is probably the weirdest Star Wars news update that I've ever done because there's actually not any confirmed stuff. So, if you want to skip out on this video, I totally get it. You aren't missing out on anything except for my thoughts. Which makes me think that this isn't even really a news update, but then it kind of is. Like, there's news to go over that I think is worth mentioning because I would want to know about it. So, I don't even know what to call this because I'm basically talking about leaks, but you guys know me. I don't talk about leaks unless I think they're worth talking about because I think they're true, or I think they mean something, or they're just purely misleading the community, which I feel like happens a lot. But I still don't always feel like cooking up a nice video talking about things that aren't even going to happen just because some people like to lie about it and people believe them without any proof whatsoever. So yeah. I mean, I've talked about leaks before in news updates, but it's always with the news. I think this is one of my only videos where I just basically talk about leaks. And speaking of leaks, I'm upfront and real about it, giving you guys my thoughts and credible sources. I do good research on this stuff on purpose. I don't like covering fake stuff for a variety of different reasons. So, if I haven't made a video on something, that's probably for a reason. If you don't believe me, you can even look at some of my past videos on the channel, just to give me a little bit more credibility. And when you do, you'll realize that the leaks I always cover end up becoming legit. I have a pretty high accuracy rate when it comes to these things, and it's not because I have an inside connection, it's just because I like to do my time doing thorough research. Now, one point of me telling you guys this and making this video is to basically say I got you once again, like I do in every single Star Wars news update, because after seeing what happened with Kenobi, I've seen quite a few people, even on this channel, talk about how upset they were because they didn't get a trailer for the upcoming Kenobi series. And I got a lot of questions. Why didn't I cover the leaks? And for those that aren't caught up on those leaks, it is basically a pretty big leak that says a lot of Star Wars trailers and sizzle reels were going to be revealed on Disney Plus Day, including the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer. There's a lot more specifics that go into that leak, but I'm not going to get into that. There's a reason why I didn't cover it in the first place. I mean, don't get me wrong, a Kenobi trailer would have been great, but hello? Why is there so many people upset at Disney for not dropping a trailer that they didn't even confirm? Don't be upset, it was never confirmed, at least from what I've seen. I wouldn't even say that it was leaked by someone that was really credible, and the closest somewhat credible leaks that I saw, which actually leaked some of the concept art in the Kenobi first look clip that we basically got, just had things that said our source. Well, like, what does that mean? What source? For all we know, you could just be making it up for views. Obviously, in this case, they weren't, but you get my point. Even one of these sources, such as Star Wars Newsnet, basically said that it could still change at the last minute because these things typically happen. Well, there you go. I guess some people just like to leave that part out. I know it's hard to not get your hopes up sometimes, especially with Star Wars, but we just have to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. I mean, after all, the rebellion is built on hope. It just seems like most of the leaks were just the generic leaks that have been right in the past a few times, and people bring that up, but not all the times that they're wrong. And I've already mentioned why you can't go by that several times throughout past videos, so I won't dive into that again. But my point is that it's not Disney's fault that people fell for these leaks. It always seems that when one person always leaks it, then everyone else just likes to hop on the same train, and people don't pay attention to sources or look at the source's past claims. Some people just take other people's word for it, and a lot of people don't have the credibility. Now, who knows? Maybe the trailer was supposed to be a part of the reveals, and we can all speculate about that in the comments, but at the end of the day, the leakers were wrong, and hypothetically, let's say even a credible leaker that you trust leaked it. You should always take it with a grain of salt, because whether people like it or not, plans change in life for a variety of different reasons, especially for a big company such as Disney. There's a lot of decisions that we don't see. Anyways, I have a lot more to say about this topic and leaks in general. Like, I haven't even touched on Rangers, Rogue Squadron, the new High Republic film, Taika Waititi's film, Kevin Feige's film, the Star Wars Quantic Dream game, and a ton of other stuff that I'm really not going to get into right now. And if you haven't caught on by now, these are just leaks, but man, I can just go on and on about my research and why I don't cover it and that type of stuff, but I feel like I got my main thoughts out and have a decent length of time now on the channel where I've proven to be credible to a certain extent. I'm not saying I'm going to be perfect, because I'm not, but my past shows that I'm pretty spot on when it comes to real news and leaks, so I just wanted to share a little bit of my thoughts about the Kenobi trailer leaks that ended up being wrong. Now, leaks aside, regardless, I fill you guys in on the news right away, right when it comes out. So if you like to be caught up on everything Star Wars, then feel free to subscribe and hit that notification bell down below. It's completely free. Anyways, now that we're on the topic of leaks, I'm going to talk about a Battlefront 3 leak that I actually believe is true. But once again, this is a leak, so take it with a grain of salt. So before I get into it, let's go over what this leak is. This leak comes from Tom Henderson, and he's a journalist, but he has proved to be a pretty credible leaker in the past, and it seems like from my research, he's gotten most of what he claims right, especially regarding Battlefield stuff, so it really does seem like he has a legit insider connection with someone over at EA. Now, with this said, he basically came out and tweeted that the migration from Battlefield 2042 back to the other projects has begun. Criterion is now moving back to their Need for Speed title, and the DICE studio is moving to their next title, which is expected to be another Battlefield title and not Battlefront 3. So there you have it. I know a lot of you guys have been wanting me to talk about Battlefront 3 for like the longest time now, and I'm about to. There's finally a reason to do it, and it's not great news, but it's not super bad news because it's kind of what I was thinking about like from the beginning, but you'll see in just a minute. I'm going to give you guys some of my raw thoughts about it, and I have a lot, so let's just go from the beginning and talk about what we know. Now, as of right now, EA has a contract with Disney until 2023 where they have the exclusive Star Wars license for the Star Wars games. Now, I guess there's some type of loophole or exception, like for Star Wars Hunters and LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, but that's all we know of. In the past, EA has told us that they have a good relationship with Disney and that they're going to be doubling down on Star Wars games, and that they even talk about how successful Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2 were, Fallen Order, and even Star Wars Squadrons.
Where do we go with Star Wars from here?
I think up is my hope, up and to the right. But I would say, again, I think we have a tremendous relationship with Disney. We have a tremendous relationship with LucasArts. We have a long-standing relationship with them going all the way back to Star Wars The Old Republic that we launched in 2011. Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes has been an extraordinarily successful mobile game and continues to be successful. It continues to engage, a huge fan base. We've got a couple of Battlefront games that together have sold, I think we're in and around 35 million units of that. So, that's a really big property. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order with over 10 million units, and now Star Wars Squadrons, which, again, as Blake points out, is going after a very particular Star Wars fan motivation, the pilot fantasy, but the response has been really, really strong, and we're hopeful for that. So, we've had success in first-person shooters, in RPGs, in action-adventure, in MMORPGs, in mobile, and I believe we're going to have success in Squadrons as well. And so, again, I think that we're going to double down on that partnership. Disney continue to be very, very committed to the IP and to the canon. They continue to create new content.
But even after saying all that, what blows my mind and drives me absolutely freaking crazy is that since they've made that announcement over a year ago, we still have no official Star Wars games. I repeat, no official Star Wars games that are confirmed. Zero that are confirmed. I mean, I've talked about this before on how I believe they may be working on something to release in 2023 or 2024 when their contract ends to just stay up with the competition, but just the fact that they said that over a year ago and still haven't confirmed anything while still teasing us from time to time just blows me away. I don't see how hard it is to say Fallen Order 2 is coming at some point during a game event just to give the players a bit of hope. I don't get it. Now, I'm not trying to judge them because I don't know that entire process, and you never know another man's story, but man, I feel like I'm pretty okay at putting myself in other people's shoes and trying to understand from their point of view. But boy, sometimes they make it hard and don't communicate well. I really do try to feel like I put myself in their positions, even in a spot to just make money, and it still just doesn't add up or make sense. Star Wars is a huge opportunity for them to make money, and that's not me assuming. History shows this. It just doesn't make sense, you know what I mean? Are they mad that the Star Wars community didn't allow the loot boxes to become a reality like some of the other EA titles, such as like some of the EA Sports games? I mean, probably, perhaps. But still, man, you can't tell me that they couldn't make a ton of money. Maybe they just make too much money over on Galaxy of Heroes to care. I don't know. Anyways, I'm getting a little off track here. I just gotta say that this is pretty disappointing to hear, because I actually think that this may be the case. I really thought that EA would have said something about Star Wars games since their doubling down announcement, but since then, still nothing. But the reason why I said this isn't super bad news is because we only got less than 2 more years away before we start getting those Star Wars games, because that's when EA's contract ends with Disney. And Disney is keeping the Star Wars license open, which means other companies other than EA can make Star Wars games, which is great for us because of one reason: competition. Competition is great for us because then that keeps the companies accountable to make a better Star Wars game if they want to sell it and be successful. And I say this because if there's several Star Wars games coming out in a year, I'm pretty sure there's going to be people who aren't able to buy every single Star Wars game, especially at a $60 price tag. So companies have to start giving reasons as to why they should buy their game over the competition in the other Star Wars games, just like how other companies are. For example, you got Battlefield and Call of Duty. It could basically be like that, but for Star Wars games, and way better. So my overall point here is that we should just continue to have patience, and it will pay off one day. At one point, someone's going to make a Battlefront 3. I mean, there has to. I'm a very strong believer in that. There has to be at least one smart company out there that will want to make it happen and make a ton of money. I mean, if the big boys like EA don't want to, okay, fine. Then, you know, the little guy will. And who knows? That little guy that might just be what allows him to get bigger. Now, don't get me wrong. I know this is kind of controversial, but I kind of want EA to make a Battlefront 3. You know, I really like their Battlefront 2 game, and I actually think they did a great job with that. With the exception of, you know, those stupid annoying bugs that, you know, every game has. But if they didn't stop support, I really do believe they could have even brought it to a whole nother level. Whether they actually make a Battlefront 3, who knows, only time will tell. But there are tons of signs pointing to why they aren't interested in making a Battlefront 3. We can even see this by a lot of lead devs over at DICE that were a part of the EA Star Wars team leaving, such as Dennis Brandvold. Anyways, my overall point is that other companies have to realize how valuable the Star Wars IP is, and I have no doubt that we'll be getting huge things in the future. I even think Disney knows that, and that's why they made Lucasfilm Games and kind of rebranded that. They probably realized that this was the move, and that this can even be better than the previous LucasArts when they, you know, just don't leave it all up to EA. Now, I don't know anything behind the scenes at EA, and who knows, maybe they are working on a Star Wars game and they're just not talking about it, but as of now, we don't know about it. And they always tell us how good of a relationship with Disney that they got, but from one angle, you gotta think, do they really have that good of a relationship with Disney? Because if Disney were happy, don't you think that they would defend them more and extend that contract with them? I would sure think so if Disney was happy with them and they believed that EA was actually bringing in the money that they expected. I think Disney realizes that EA is not using up all the potential that they gave them, and I think that's why they're opening up to other companies. I mean, to obviously earn more money, you know? What, you think they care about us fans? Sure, okay, maybe, perhaps they do. But come on, really think about it. What do you think? You know, they probably think that if EA just doesn't see the opportunity that they do, then maybe these other guys will. They'll experiment with that, you know what I mean? Anyways, I could just go on and on about this stuff and sharing my raw thoughts, and I'm not trying to gain up on anyone. I'm just sharing and reiterating what I already kind of said in that Open World Lucasfilms game announcement and what I think is going to happen with Star Wars games in the future, as well as letting EA know that we want more Star Wars games and that they can be very successful for the small chance that anyone over there is even watching this video. It's just sad, man, because I love their games, but some of their decisions just don't make sense to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but we'll just have to wait and see. I think we're going to get Star Wars Hunters and Lego Star Wars, which are the two not owned by EA. And then we may get like a Fallen Order 2 game before 2023. And then maybe a couple other Star Wars games that come out in 2023 or 2024 by EA to stay up with the competition. Or they may just save Fallen Order 2 till 2023 for the competition. Or maybe they might just say, screw it, we're making bank off of Galaxy of Heroes and continue to put more resources into that. I don't know. It's just a very, very, very interesting thing to think about. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. I feel like I got most of my thoughts out within a decent time, and this not turning into a super long video where I go into depth on this stuff, because I feel like I can just talk about this stuff in my research for a while. I mean, right now, I just feel like I have so much more to say, and I don't have it all out, but that's it for right now, and maybe we can just continue to talk about this in a future live stream if you guys are interested. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please consider liking the video if you did like it, or dislike it if you disliked it. And let me know what your guys' thoughts are about all this in the comments down below. And let me know what you thought of this entire video. This is something I feel like I've never done before, so let me know what I can do better. What did you like? What didn't you like? Was this video confusing? Did it feel like my thoughts weren't completed? I mean, did you think it was good? Just any feedback would be nice. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Remember, if you are new around here, please consider subscribing while hitting that notification bell down below. And may the Force be with you always.